Somebody in the Vatican sent me a message this morning. Robert, look at the Mass today because laity, they were going to receive the minor orders of Lector and Catechist. Lay faithful were mandated not to kneel for our Lord Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. They were mandated by the Vatican not to kneel for our Lord in the Eucharist. And they were mandated only to receive our Lord Jesus Christ on their hand, with their hands. And as far as I'm aware, there was one person that raised an objection and it was shot down. And some laity were not very comfortable with what the Vatican is trying to mandate. And I know there's a lot of rumours going around, but seemingly Arthur Roach, Cardinal Arthur Roach, I'd love to hear what the Vatican will say about this. Seemingly, the Vatican is moving to mandate universally in the Roman Rite communion on the hand as the universal norm across the world, so that there isn't this confusion about some people having different ways of reverencing our Lord. They want to mandate now in the Novus Ordo communion only on the hand. Maybe the Vatican can reach out and respond. Why are lay faithful in the Vatican? Why are the people in the Vatican that love our Lord Jesus Christ, why are they uncomfortable with the destruction of the reverence for the Eucharist? What is going on in Rome? It would never have happened under John Paul II. I was in that basilica. I stood beside St. John Paul II. He only ever gave communion kneeling on the tongue. And he mandated that communion was only to be given on the tongue. And yet under this pontificate, we've seen a radical departure. And I ask the questions, why? Why? What is going on in the Vatican? What is Cardinal Arthur Roach, planning to do? Why is there this demonic push to destroy reverence for our Lord Jesus Christ in the Eucharist? Why are laity not allowed to receive our Lord Jesus Christ kneeling on the tongue? What is so wrong with putting a kneeler in the Vatican? Because I stood there in that front of that high altar, and a kneeler was brought out for me to receive communion from St. John Paul II, so that I could kneel in front of the successor to St. Peter and receive communion kneeling on the tongue. I was there. This was the only way. And John Paul II, to his credit, tried to maintain a continuity and tradition in the church and how we respect our Lord, how we reverence our Lord. And now, if a lay person in the Vatican, if they're there with the Pope, you're not allowed to kneel and receive communion on the tongue. You're not allowed to bend the knee. You're told you may only receive communion on the hand. That's what laity were told today in the Vatican. In the protocols, when they were brought in before Mass, the catechists and these lectors, you will only receive communion on the hand. All of you. Do not kneel. Laity being told not to kneel at a Mass where the Pope is present. Isn't that something? That's something seriously wrong in the church, guys. There's something seriously wrong in Rome. Especially when it comes to how, as Roman Catholics, we reverence the Eucharist. There is something seriously wrong. It's not about traditional Latin Mass here. It's not about Vatican II. I'm talking here about John Paul II and what is going on in Rome at this present moment of time in the Vatican. Why are you not allowed to kneel and receive communion? What is so wrong with that? It just simply would never have happened under John Paul II. Anyway, we have to pray. We have to have faith. These are dark times. Bishops will spend millions trying to renew faith in the real presence. Start by acting. Start by showing you actually believe in the Eucharist. And if you can kneel. My call to the Vatican is get those kneelers out that you used to have. You used to bring them out. I knelt at Masses and pontifical Masses. I knelt. We received communion. We reverenced our Lord. And there was continuity between the faith of our fathers and grandfathers and previous generations and how we respect the Eucharist. I mean, did you people see this photo giving out communion today in the Vatican? Look at this photo. The priest is handing it to a teenager and he's taking it with his fingers. Yeah, sure, I'll have that, yeah. Give me that. Give me that. That's it. Look. Guys, not even the early church received communion like that. That isn't a practice that ever existed in the Catholic Church. Ever. Not even the early church would ever have received communion in that way. We have destroyed faith in the Eucharist, and our children don't believe. Because we don't believe. We don't believe enough to get down on our knees and receive our Lord in the tongue. Now, I know in these big events in the Vatican, priests would go up down, even 25 years ago, and they would give you communion on the tongue, standing. Because it's, if you're in pews to get in and out and to go up there, okay. Nobody ever received communion on the hand. Nobody, not one person would ever receive communion on the hand 25 years ago. And yet it looks like Cardinal Arthur Roche is looking to make the universal norm in the church now to receive communion on the hand. Is this where we're going? Because you're testing the waters there. This is the rumours that are coming out of Rome. It's simply... I just don't understand what's going on there on the church. I just don't understand. Thank God there are some people in the Vatican that still have faith and that are saddened by the destruction of the Eucharist, of reverence for the Eucharist. Thank God for you. Thank God for you. Don't let the Eucharist be reverence for our Lord Jesus Christ and the Eucharist be destroyed. Don't let them be destroyed. Even people look at those laity receiving it, how the different people received it. Guys, what is going on with our beautiful Latin Rite Church? What is going on? What is going on? Really, what is going on? I'm not here calling people to go to traditional Latin Mass and to divide the church and to go to only traditional Latin Mass. I'm asking, what happened to reverence for our Lord Jesus Christ in the Eucharist? What happened? What happened? What happened? We're all asking the same questions. What happened? What happened under this pontificate with our reverence for the Eucharist? Can somebody explain to me what is happening? What is happening? We used to have a beautiful faith in the Eucharist, which seems to be slowly being destroyed. Our faith and morals in the church, we're not able to preach them. Do we know what they are even anymore? We saw a certain priest from a certain order send out a tweet yesterday. They got millions and millions and millions of views. And yet we're not able to treat our Lord Jesus Christ in the Eucharist with reverence as Roman Catholics anymore. This is a turning point in the church. This is a real turning point. You will never teach the faith if you don't actively live and show you believe in the Eucharist. And if you can't kneel for 30 seconds to receive our Lord Jesus Christ in the Eucharist, if you can't physically kneel, if you can, obviously, if you can't show that you actually believe that this is the body, blood, soul, and divinity for Lord Jesus, how are you going to preach something that you physically don't seem to believe in? It's a symbol. We're Protestants. We're Protestants now. Are we? This is what Protestants tried to do 500 years ago. Well, they've accomplished it in the Vatican. They've accomplished it. Now we treat the Eucharist like Protestants. This will be the universal norm. Is it? Is it really? Is this where we're going as Roman Catholics? Really? I call it out. I call it out for what it is. It's the destruction of the faith. It's the destruction of reverence. Anyway, sorry to go on, but that's what happened in the Vatican today. And I just call it out for what it is. Where are you going? Where are the leaders in the church? Are you spiritual fathers? Lead in the faith. Show us how to reverence our Lord in the Eucharist. What previous generations held sacred is sacred to us and great to us and can't be considered harmful or forbidden. if we reverenced our Lord for centuries and centuries and centuries in a certain way, what is going on? What will we have next? What will we have next in the Vatican? Where are we going? We've destroyed reverence for our Lord Jesus Christ. The one thing that is the source and centre of our faith. We treat it like a cookie. We treat it like a cookie. Here, little teenager, here, take one of those. There you go. You have your fingers. Treat it. Hold on a second. Since when? The early church didn't even do that. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.